war. We'll get you all the latest details in this edition, but up first, let me take you through the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Massive controversy erupts over Lokpal's move to procure 7 luxury BMW M Sport vehicles, each valued around 70 lakh rupees. Republic TV accesses the tender copy. Bangladesh building a large hangar for fighter jets that they are acquiring from China close to India's sensitive chicken's neck, raising alarm bells. It's Mahagathbandhan versus Mahagathbandhan ahead of Bihar elections. Congress stands in direct clash with RJD on 5 seats. After India's precision strikes hammering Pakistan's spooked, Islamabad calls for dialogue with New Delhi. Ladies and gentlemen, Bangladesh's Army Chief General Waqar-Zaman had landed with 3 helicopters at the abandoned airport in Thakurgaon that's located near India's strategic Chicken's Neck corridor. Now, this happened on Thursday, raising alarm bells in India. He visited the precise location within Lamornhat Air Base and he personally apprised himself of the progress in construction work on the massive hangar, which will likely be used for parking fighter aircraft. Now, it is close to to India's strategic Chicken's Neck in Siliguri, which is India's only land link to its 8 northeastern states. Now, interestingly, this particular airbase is being revived. It was last used back in the 1971 war, and it turns out that there is a direct foreign intervention. It turns out some reports now suggesting, top sources indicating here in the national capital, that this airbase is largely going to be reconstructed with the help of Chinese funding and some assets to be bought from Pakistan. In fact, it also turns out that the United States of America is also in the beeline right now. So exactly what are the Bangladeshis essentially trying to do? Now, this particular airbase, the details of which we're going to put out in a short while from now, which essentially indicates that it's large enough to basically house about 10 to 12 fighter jets. These fighter jets that are likely to be brought in are from China. There is also a strategic deal that is likely to be signed between Bangladesh and China, and the aircraft, after being procured, would be placed at these very places. Now, what I'm showing you right now, these are pictures that came in just about a few days ago when there was a sudden visit that was made by Bangladesh's army chief. And it turns out that once he landed, he did actually take stock of the situation on the ground. How far has the construction work progressed? Because remember, over the last 6 months, the construction work has been going on. On your screens right now, why there is a direct threat to the Chicken's Neck. It is about 20 kilometers from the Indo-Bangladesh border, bordering the Kuch Bihar district in West Bengal. And it essentially means that Bangladesh allows the other country to take control of this particular airbase, and it would largely be some sort of a threat to the Chicken's Neck itself. However, Bangladesh says that there will be no foreign intervention, and this is only for their own national interest, which is why they're basically trying to revive an airbase which wasn't in use since 1971. It seems it is now finally being revived by Bangladesh. Let me go across to our senior editor, Moyuk, who's joining us from Kolkata newsroom. Moyuk, first with regards to the surprise visit of the Bangladesh Army Chief, and I want to go back to the visuals of the Army Chief landing at that very place. Tell us what really happened. What are the details are you picking up?
Well, Sean, what I'm getting from my sources in Bangladesh, a clear instruction has been given to the Mohammad Yunus government to procure land and to convert them into airstrip bases. And strangely, these are being done in areas where we have a strategic location, the chicken snake. That's the Siliguri Corridor. The place where you just mentioned, Lalmonirhat. Apart from that, there's another place called Saidpur. This Saidpur and Lalmonirhat both are very strategic locations, and these are just adjacent side of Siliguri, Coach Bihar, Dinajpur, and most importantly Malda range. So basically this entire range, the North Bengal range, has always been a target of Pakistan ISI, and most importantly the deep state mechanism, who have always tried to cut off chicken snake. Why chicken snake is very strategic for India? Because of the fact that Siliguri Corridor is the main and only land strip from where you can actually access the 7 states of northeastern side. So basically, if you cut off Siliguri Corridor, the entire northeastern states become isolated from the rest of the country. And this visit of Bangladesh Army Chief is very awkward because of the fact that there is no military drill happening there. There is no conference happening at that point of time. In fact, we are picking up from the army sources there in Bangladesh that the specific intelligence that has come from outside the countries, that some foreign countries, some foreign military establishment, they want a strategic location just next to the chicken snake or the Siliguri Corridor. So one hand, the Siliguri Corridor is being targeted to buy lands and to make foreign investments for an airstrip there. On the other hand, in Chittagong side, that's the entire Bay of Bengal side, the entire Chittagong, the Teknaf area and the St. Martin's area have almost been given to US Army, US Navy, because of the fact that they are the ones only, we have shown visuals also, who are doing mock drills daily, who are doing regular conferences, who are taking strategic positions in Bay of Bengal. So this is actually becoming a nuisance for the security and safety of India. Shaman.
That's because we've got more details. In fact, we have essentially picked this up from our sources here in the national capital, who have essentially told Republic TV that the recently refurbished airstrips in northern Bangladesh are essentially being modernized with direct assistance coming in from the Chinese military, and that Beijing is simultaneously acquiring strategic footholds in southeastern Nepal and southern Bhutan. So sources are also indicating that they're basically tightening a triangular pressure around India's Siliguri corridor. The local eyewitnesses and satellite imagery show rapid infrastructure development at these long dormant airfields in Thakurgaon and Lalmonirhat, including logistic facilities. I'll request both Moyuk and Ishan to join us right now to getting us more details. Ishan, the fact is that it is not only limited just to Bangladesh. It turns out a similar sort of project is underway in Nepal as well as Bhutan, reviving those very air bases. What more details are you picking up? I'll just go back to the breaking news while Moyuk, just to share this with you. It seems that not just in Bangladesh, a similar sort of act being carried out by the Chinese in Bhutan as well as Nepal. Ishan, first to you, what more details do you have?
Shravan, on speaking to sources in the capital, we have come across the information that China has a direct involvement in upgrading and planning the infrastructure at both of these air bases. The current airstrip, which is at Thakurgaon, is approximately 1 kilometer long, and this is a 550-acre campus wherein the new perimeter wall was seen to be under construction. Apart from this, the southeastern Nepal, China has acquired an SEZ location which it claims is for development of infrastructure, but it is clearly has clear military intentions because of the nature of construction present in the southeastern part of Nepal. Furthermore, the southern part of Bhutan is also There, apart from the Doklam region where China has been encroaching slowly but steadily, the southern Bhutanese area has also been acquired by Chinese firms for development of an SEZ. This is creating a triangular pressure on the Siliguri Corridor, which is a very important lifeline to the 8 northeastern states of India. China has also been developing roads and rail infrastructure and has recently built around 22 new villages in this region, wherein it has been shifting a population in a military style village construction, which have been fortressed and are definitely part of a larger military agenda of China. Furthermore, the recent upgradation of the Bangladeshi airfields, wherein the hangar has been developed. Large hangar has been developed at Loimrahat Air Base, which has clear indication of Chinese involvement. This was indicated very clearly by our sources that the hangar has a very clear involvement of Chinese infrastructure and engineering, and is possibly going to house Chinese-built J-series aircraft.
Ishan, I'll just request you to stay on with us, because I just want to take a quick word from Moyuk. Moyuk, the developments that are taking place. One, this visit happened on Thursday. Simultaneously, it turns out that same very activities are now taking place in Nepal and Bhutan. Any more details with regards to by when are they expecting this new airstrip to be finally constructed?
Shravan, very soon. What I'm getting in from our sources is that within 3 months, the basic construction and, most importantly, the power of attorney will be given to some dodgy company in Bangladesh, which has links with some other company outside, and probably George Soros maybe. But the fact remains here, Shravan, the Dhaka airport has also been under attack. Shravan, it has been shown as an accident. But from within Bangladesh sources, from within Bangladesh, people are saying that this is not an accident, this is a sabotage, this is not an accident, this is an arson. The entire cargo facility in Dhaka has been gutted down. It's over. Billions of dollars has been put in waste. And most importantly, right now, what we are getting in, Chinese and American companies, they are eyeing another airport in Bangladesh, one of the most strategic airports. That's the Dhaka Shah Jalal airport. So basically all the airports in Bangladesh are now being targeted by USA and Chinese, of course, so that they use it as a strategic location for their air bases and airstrips. Shravan.
Very much, Moyuk, for getting us the latest details along with Ishan. A story that we'll be tracking very closely. It's a preliminary details that we have with us right now, but a larger implication on the ground. Should we focus now to the other story that we are getting to you from Pakistan. Now, after the war that began between Pakistan and Afghanistan, it turns out that Afghans who have been in Pakistan over the last few years are now being pushed out. In fact, 85,000 Afghans have been forced to leave. In fact, 10 refugee camps in Pakistan have already been shut down. There is also a massive crackdown that is underway in various other provinces where they're essentially now calling it illegal settlements, and that is the reason why they're being rooted out. In fact, let's put out the breaking news. 85,000 Afghans have been forced to leave Pakistan. In fact, on your screens right now, this is the kind of crackdown that is underway in various parts of Pakistan right now, and they're essentially forcing the Afghans to leave from the country. This basically started almost a year ago, but now it has only intensified after the war that broke out between Afghanistan and Pakistan. We'll try and go across to my colleague Hashmat, who's joining us from Kabul, getting us the latest details. Hashmat, if you can hear me. We'll try and go across to Hashmat in a short while from now, while we just quickly recap what we know so far. The Pakistanis have now forced about 85,000 Afghans to leave from the country. A 40-year-old Afghan refugee settlement in Afghan colony was also razed to the ground, leaving thousands homeless. In fact, what we are given to understand that the families have now essentially been asked to leave from the country. In fact, let me also go across to Ishan. I'll stay with the visuals first while we try and go across to Hashmat from Kabul. At least if we can get him on the phone line right now, because there seems to be some problem with the internet there in Kabul. Ishan, first to you with regards to the details that we are getting in. It turns out that the crackdown has only intensified in various parts of Afghanistan.
Yes, Shavan, after the recent breakout of violence between Pakistan and Afghanistan, a large number of refugees have been forced to move out of Pakistan and into Afghanistan. This is typical of Pakistani response. Previously also, whenever there has been an escalation of tensions between Pakistan and Afghanistan, Pakistan has forced its refugees to back into Pakistan. This is creating a humanitarian crisis wherein thousands and thousands of people who have been living in Pakistan for for decades now are being forced back into Afghanistan, into a place which they have not known for decades, and now under Taliban control. The Afghanistan they had earlier left is not the same Afghanistan which they are returning to. They are returning to an Afghanistan that is controlled by the Taliban and is under strict Sharia and Islamic law. The Pakistani Afghan people who have been settled in Pakistan, a lot of them have been born in Pakistan. Even though they have been born in the Pakistan, they are not been given citizenship or any rights. They are also being forced to return to Afghanistan for this reason. And now we are seeing that another 85,000 have been forced back into Afghanistan. This will definitely create a lot more strain on the resources that the Afghanistan has, and the ability of Afghan to feed these people is also under a very big question. The humanitarian crisis unfolding right before our eyes is very difficult, and it is very poignant to see what the international response to this will be. Shavan.
Thank you very much, Ishan, for getting us the latest details. Well, in fact, a controversy has now erupted over the Lokpal's move to procure 7 luxury BMW sport vehicles, each valued at about 70 lakh rupees, with an estimated total cost of about 5 crore rupees. Now, the tender, which has been accessed by Republic TV, reveals a preference for the long wheelbase version of the BMWs, with a delivery sought within a month's time to the Lokpal's office in Vasant Kunj in the national capital. This bid has sparked outrage over the procurement of the luxury cars by the country's anti-corruption ombudsman. In fact, the window for this entire process to be completed was barely less than a week, and now we are given to understand that the work should be completed within 30 days. Whether a contractor has been finalized is still not known at this point in time, but this tender has now been made public. Joining us from outside the Lokpal's office in the national capital is my colleague Shambhavi. Shambhavi, it turns out that there were multiple meetings that took place at the Lokpal's office. You did try reaching out to the members of the Lokpal Commission. Any more details are you picking up? What's the rationale that they are essentially given as to why do they really need 7 luxury vehicles to begin with?
Well, yes, we've tried reaching out to every single member, their PS, joint secretary and secretary. We can also show you the call log, the number of times that we have called them, but there was absolutely no response from their end, let alone giving us an answer. There was no response to the call. Nobody picked our call. So there is still a lot of ambiguity with this news, which concerns ordering of 7 high-end luxurious BMWs. What is the purpose behind it? Why specifically this particular model, BMW 330 Li? Why not some other more affordable high-end vehicle? And if this vehicle is the one that they want, is there some specific purpose that it's serving? Or were there other options considered? If yes, then what were the options? So there are still a lot of questions which remains unanswered, and we've not received any kind of response from Lokpal on this matter.
Well, Thank you very much, Shambhavi, for getting us the latest details. We also spoke to Brahm Singh Tanwar, Vice President of Aam Aadmi Party, on Lokpal's BMW tender. In fact, this is what the Aam Aadmi Party had to say, and they're basically raising this question as to why exactly does the Lokpal really need this?
ये लोकपाल बिल इसलिए चाहते थे देश की जनता कि ताकि करप्शन के खिलाफ कोई आवाज उठा सके और करप्शन ना हो। ये लोकपाल इसलिए लाया गया था कि करप्शन को रोकने के लिए बनाया गया था। अगर लोकपाल ही करप्शन में फंस जाएगा, अभी जैसे आपने बताया कि 7 BMW गाड़ियां खरीदी जा रही हैं, वो भी लग्जरी गाड़ियां, जिसकी कीमत 70 से 75 लाख रुपया उसकी कीमत हो सकती है एक गाड़ी की। और लोकपाल को इतनी महंगी गाड़ी क्यों चाहिए? ये गाड़ी तो अगर सुप्रीम कोर्ट के चीफ जस्टिस को भी इतनी महंगी गाड़ी नहीं मिलती है जितनी अभी लोकपाल जी चाह रहे हैं, और इतनी गाड़ी चाहेंगे। पब्लिक का पैसा का मिसयूज हो रहा है। और फिर भी लोकपाल के लिए मान लिया एक गाड़ी ली भी जाए तो ये 7-7 गाड़ियों का टेंडर किस लिए हो रहा है? तो ये भी एक अपने आप में ही एक करप्शन है। तो ये करप्शन नहीं होना चाहिए, हम इसकी निंदा करते हैं अगर ऐसा टेंडर भरा जा रहा है तो।
Well, there's no response really coming in from the Lokpal. Multiple attempts have been made by Republic TV to reach out to the Lokpal Commission to find out what's the real rationale behind getting 7 luxury vehicles within a period of just about 30 days. Well, that's all that we could pack in this edition of This is Exclusive. Coming up, trending with my colleague Rakshita.
Prashant Kishore levels coercion charge on BJP. Crisis breaks out in Gathbandhan in over 10 seats. Which alliance can weather the Bihar thriller? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरी राजा।
Some places feel like they've been waiting for you, where every piece speaks of legacy, from diamonds that celebrate ambition to festive gold that honors tradition. LD Sons.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
भारत की अपनी दुकान, इंडिया सोना, अपने देश का सामान, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े। क्या निराला MDH मसाला।